Okay, here's my second try at a home video on my painting method. I pretty much put out my white, yellow, blue, red. Those are the primary colors. I got a little bit of green, sort of let the things mix with each other. And I always start off, I'm painting over an acrylic painting. Initial painting, sort of a layout, can be very rough. I'm trying to establish bands of light and dark, and what I'm going to do is 3 bands of light. Here we got 3 bands of dark under it, and that's sort of a simple formula for a successful painting. I'm going to rub off a little of the excess white. Got a light sky. I'm going to let it rub it off over these trees a little bit. But the things in the distance I want to be lighter than things close. There's an old mill here and a stream, some water down below, some trees and vegetation. I'm wiping down, it gives the texture of the wood. Here, this will give the texture of the shingles. Working broadly like this leaves a picture of the greatest detraction art can have, which is too much detail. It's got to be simple, or people will get fatigued looking at it. They won't want to look at it. Now, I like to create texture leaves by just stippling with a small amount of paint on the brush that you can see through. As the bristles splay out, it produces texture. And you see again this very broad pattern of color, in this case greenish gray, and allowing the colors to mix with each other, putting it on transparently over the initial acrylic layout allows it to be much more attractive easily. I'm just going to use a big brush, a medium brush, and a little brush. A big bristle brush. Go back to my paint, and I'm just going to use red. And this is going to be sort of my drawing. So I'm going to put in lines. And I think lines are basically detract. The big spaces and shapes are what draw interest in a painting. I'm going to look for what parts of the initial layout I want to preserve. My red got a little black mixed into it. That's okay. I work with what I have. I like to have basically 3 colors that work well together, but really doesn't matter to me what 3 colors they are. Sort of like the notes on a piano. See, look at that. What do I do with that? If there's probably take any 3 notes and make a tune out of them. Here, we're going to get rid of that blotch by making our shingles. Usually a roof isn't going to be homogeneous or the same texture, tone across the whole thing. It'll vary in its textures, how light and dark it is, how much detail there is. It's sort of have to make a decision. Say the light's coming in from this direction, so I'm going to put the shadows here on this side. Now, every single downstroke imitates a wooden board that the building's made out of, and if the brush strokes are rough, then it gives a sense of the texture of the material. Right under the shingles it's going to be a little darker. Okay, now we're going to go, just going to outline that vegetation. Now see, my oil is mixed with, paint's mixed with a little oil. You just play with the amount of oil and paint until it gives you the fluid properties that allow it to make it easy to sketch. If it's too thick or thin, it just won't work. And it's different with each brush, so you take your brush and play and get, almost any brush will have its own sort of life and voice. To take that paint after it's on there and let it spread around a little bit. See how it gets lighter as it gets away from the original line. But I don't want to keep it the same all the way across. Green and red are complements, so red makes a good choice for a shadow under a green tree. It should be grayer. Mix with that green that's already there and produce sort of a grayish dark green as they mix together. Which to me is pleasant. I'm going to go, let's see, let's get some yellow. So I'm going to go blue to red to yellow. That's the path of color from dark to light. There is a path up to the barn there. Sort of use my imagination to create the story here. So the original idea stems from a how to paint book from the art store. It's really good to look at references for inspiration, but don't copy your reference or else you'll just be boring. Just don't do it.